The skies were clear, cars were fast, the boost was up, the crowd was big, and it was Team Penske on top of Fast Friday here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway today. I'm Nathan Brown, your motorsports insider with the Indianapolis Star. Let's talk through today's top stories on this edition of Pit Pass Live. As I mentioned, it was Team Penske on top of the 4-lap averages on the timing charts here today as teams readied for a qualifying weekend, particularly readying for Saturday, where we will set a good chunk of the grid. Your top 4 will then move on to Sunday, top 12 will still move on to Sunday, along with the bottom 4. You will have your Fast 12 and your Fast 6, along with your last chance qualifiers that will decide the one car that will get bumped. The group on the top, again, dominated both by Team Penske, by Chevy as well. Josef Newgarden with your top 4-lap average speed today, 234.063. A run he ran, I believe, in the middle of the day and went faster on lap 3 than lap 2, went faster on lap 4 than lap 3. We don't typically see that. It's a sign both of a really great balanced car and that there potentially is even more speed in it as well. Teammate Scott McLaughlin, second fastest on 4-lap averages today, 233.623. Will Power, third at 233.451. Alexander Rossi paces Arrow McLaren, 233.355, and his teammate Pato O'Ward in fifth on those 4-lap averages today at 233.043. The group at the bottom, those who are maybe going to bed tonight a little uneasy, knowing that they just have to beat one car this weekend on Sunday, but it's not a group that you want to be in. Ideally, if you're in this group, you just would love to have a day off on Sunday, not have to worry, allow your crew to be able to prep your race car, just kind of take a breather, gather things. If you can be even in that 20th to 25th, you can still race from there. You might not win, but it's still a place that you can be racy, but you find yourself in that 27, 28, 29, 30 or below range once we get to Saturday afternoon. Your heart's racing a little bit. 30th fastest on 4-lap averages today, Romain Grosjean of Hungos-Hollinger Racing, 230.40. Connor Daly, 31st, 230.490. Kiffin Simpson, 230.340. Catherine Legg of Dalecoin Racing, 229.984. Unfortunately, Catherine Legg was the fastest of Dalecoin Racing's cars today. Nolan Siegel puts it in the wall and flips in turn 2. He posted what I believe was probably not even a complete 4-lap average time at the very slowest. Nolan will have to go to a backup car. They were already readying that. This afternoon, he emerged from his car okay. From the looks of watching the replay, essentially got a little loose, car spun around in turn 2, slapped the outer wall a couple times, got a little air underneath his car, and that sent him briefly airborne, flipped over upside down. He emerged from that crash okay, but did a heck of a lot of damage, as one might assume. They will go to the backup car for the number 18, which is their Roden Street car, driven most recently by Jack Harvey on Saturday in the Sancio Grand Prix. Throughout Fast Friday, we got to talk to a handful of drivers. On one end of the spectrum, Nolan Siegel, who, as we mentioned, crashed his number 18 Dalecoin Racing Honda in turn 2. Tough go for the rookie, who is still competing and fighting for a championship full-time in Indy Next at the moment, and is making, of course, his Indy 500 debut. His first crash of the week. Hear him talk about what he felt in the car, how he's doing, and how the team will move on from it from here. And then after that, we talked to Josef Newgarden, who paced the 4-lap averages today on Fast Friday, as well as Kyle Larson, who finished with the second fastest overall lap in his first Fast Friday in IndyCar.
Yeah, today went a lot smoother, just more so as planned, where yesterday did not. I thought with the weather being, or the forecast being good, I would get lots of laps, but did not. So was pretty frustrated with things yesterday, but yeah, it all went smooth and was good to just get some reps with the boost and feeling, all that. So, happy with how it all went.
Yeah. It's always interesting to see how this shapes up. Friday is one deal, and then tomorrow is going to be where it really comes together, and you're going to see where the field truly stacks up. But I think today's a good indicator, and we feel like we're in a decent spot. We're definitely in the mix, which is great to see. We've been working, last 4 years to try and get back into the mix in qualifying. So really proud of the team. I think they've built fast cars. That's what happens when you're quick in qualifying here. It's about a team effort and building fast cars. It doesn't matter how good you are. You can't will the car faster through ability. I mean, it is a team effort at Indianapolis. The race is one deal, but qualifying really shows the true nature of the build quality. So I think everybody at our shop should be really proud. They've done a good job over the off season, and we're excited for tomorrow.
I'm fine. Yeah.
Can you walk us through what happened?
No, I don't know exactly what happened. Got a little loose at the apex, got high, spun, hit the wall, and it was an unfortunate angle that got me airborne and upside down, and so I'll look into it more and maybe have an answer later, but for now, not exactly sure what happened, so we'll see.
What condition is the car, and is there a backup car?
Yep, there's a backup car. I can't imagine the car is in good shape. I got a glance at it as I got out, but I think that we'll probably be rolling the backup car, and hopefully, it's going to be prepped well. The team does a good job, and hopefully we'll be okay.
Just finish up our qualifying draw for tomorrow, something that if you aren't familiar with, or if you're not familiar with how Indy 500 qualifying weekend goes, the processes that we go through, they have a random draw Friday evening. The order of that draw is by 1 lap averages from Fast Friday today. Fastest was Colton Herta, followed by Kyle Larson. Colton, let's see here. Looking at the top and the bottom of your order, Colton's teammate, Kyle Kirkwood, will kick us off at 11 a.m. sharp Saturday morning, followed by Scott McLaughlin, Kiffin Simpson, Renus VK, and Romain Grosjean. Those bottom 5 spots go to Ryan Hunter-Ray, Christian Rasmussen, Graham Rahal, Elio Castroneves, and Alexander Rossi. Again, those were random draws. The order in which you draw is determined by your fastest lap on Fast Friday today. A little bit more about how qualifying works tomorrow. The field will run through the first draw through the 34th spot. That run through the field typically takes somewhere around 3.5 hours. It's about 6 minutes or so per run. So that will take us through to around 2:30 tomorrow afternoon with just over 3 hours left to go. You oftentimes see, depending on the cloud cover, the wind, the temperatures tomorrow, that middle of the afternoon time, maybe from 2:45 to 4 or so, maybe doesn't get a ton of action. It certainly slows down and is not constant like the first 3.5 hours that we see. And then we will get roaring for those final 2 hours, as you will see lots of movement. Guys, maybe that when they finished were somewhere in the 20s, and by the time the full field finished, they're down near the bottom, either in the high 20s or the low 30s, and they want to try to work their way out of that last chance qualifier group. You will, of course, also see folks in the 8, 9, 10 range to the 15, 16, 17, maybe even lower range, that think that they potentially have one of the 12 fastest cars on the grid, who want to try and put themselves in that fast 12. There will be 2 lanes tomorrow for qualifying. You have the priority lane, where if you run through on your second or future attempt, you are surrendering your time. So your time is taken out of the field when you start that run. You do not have a 4-lap average. You are not qualified for the race. Now, that gives you priority of all the other cars in line in the other lane, which is the non-priority lane. Drivers do that if they want not to surrender their 4-lap average that they ran previously. That was their best, but they want to try and better it. So guys, running that, you'll often see folks who are fighting for that fast 12 where, yes, if they qualify 15th, it's fine. They would love to have an opportunity to break into that top 12, but they're not willing to risk their top 15 spot and go for broke and risk something bad happening in those 4 laps where you have a mechanical failure, you crash, you just have a poor run for whatever reason. This field is so compact. There's just somewhere around 3.5 miles an hour from first to 30th, I believe, on the it was either on the 4-lap averages or on the single lap averages today. You have a super duper tight field. Just a little bit can make a massive difference. So that's how Saturday works. A quick run through for Sunday just to get you caught up. Sunday, we will see qualifying from 3 to 6. The first group that goes out will be your Fast 12, the fastest 12 cars on 4-lap average speeds from Saturday, going in reverse order. The fastest 6 of those will go off at 5:25 for one run, 6 down to 1, and the fastest in order will be your pole winner and start on pole on May 26th. In between those 2 sessions, you have what we're calling the last chance qualifiers, where the 31st through 34th cars from Saturday on 4-lap averages will battle for 3 remaining spots in the field. You get unlimited runs in that roughly hour time frame, so typically run through everyone once, and then whoever's slowest will wait a little bit, wait for opportune conditions, go again, and we'll see kind of how that all shakes out. Doesn't always produce a lot of excitement in that LCQ, although last year we saw Jack Harvey bump his teammate Graham Rahal on a final run where he went actually faster than a run he had completed just minutes prior. That should be everything to get you ready for qualifying weekend here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Again, we have practice tomorrow starting at 8:30. They split the field into 2. So you have a 30-minute practice for Group 1, 8:30 to 9, 30-minute practice for Group 2, 9 to 9:30, and then we get rolling with those initial qualifying attempts at 11 a.m., and that runs to 5:50. Thanks so much for joining us on this Fast Friday edition of Pit Pass Live. I encourage you to go online to indystar.com, check out all of our written content, some other videos that we have posted, our photo galleries. Again, if you haven't listened to it yet, go and check out my weekly podcast with Stephen Wilson, IndyCar Weekly, on podcast platforms, where we previewed qualifying weekend, gave some picks, see how this all shakes out. We'll have another edition of Pit Pass Live once we have positions 13th through 30th set tomorrow, and we know who our Fast 12 and our LCQ competitors will be. For IndyStar, I'm Nathan Brown, your Motorsports Insider. This is Fast Friday edition of Pit Pass Live.